see, skills. You can handle two.
Let's see if I can back it up.
I could not resist that, I'm telling you.
Nor can I.
I feel like a pro.
Shout out. From the shoppers. They're trying to escape.
Okay, we
Doing your best little Kim thing right
I'm
now.
just saying, skills. Not yet.
It's colder than the witches too.
That's you sound like my sister.
That's why my lips chapped.
You been sucking on.
Ain't nothing wrong.
That's the only reason your lips will be
Ain't
chapped.
nothing wrong.
I'm just saying.
Everybody need it.
You done made Mark adjust his pants. I'm just saying. It was that witch's tick that got you excited.
That or the double mic, one of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably both.
Yeah, don't take much.
Behind the scenes.
You want to deny everything.
Lost without you.
Lord have mercy.
Can't touch my
Uncle Daddy had a nerve to call me 10 o'clock Saturday night. I was like, ain't no business being conducted. I told him today, I called him back, and I was just like, you got some business to discuss? And he said, oh, I just wanted to let you know your date was confirmed. I said, we text and confirmed that. Anything else?
Yeah, what you married. What you got on?
I was like, you gotta see him. He's like,
What that thing smell like?
Uncle, I like that name.
Told you I got nicknames up to the
Yeah, I like that. He looked like an Uncle Daddy.
Until you tell me otherwise.
Somebody, Uncle Mama's son.
All right, well, y'all nasty heathens are going on in 5. So, let me see. Oh, there's
I'm
no.
innocent.
Use a heathen. Everybody heathen. It's all good. All right, you on.
I'm on. Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to the Intimacy Chronicles. I am your host, Queen Jackie, and to my right,
Richard, also known as the Quiet Storm. I'm starting to embrace that. I think
are you trying to be all extra?
I'm starting to embrace that. I like Quiet Storm.
You are the Quiet Storm. And to my left, I don't know if he wants to be on camera or not, but
I don't do cameras. I got one. So
You got a face for radio.
Dr. Love is running late as usual. And if you say something to him about it, he get all in his feelings about it. I'm not late.
So feel free to text when he gets here.
Exactly. Let him know he's late. So,
let's start. How was your weekend?
my weekend was actually, it was pretty good. Rainy. I went to a birthday party and was praying the whole way coming home because that rain was something.
Yeah, sure was.
And I put my high beams on so I could see, and I was like, damn, it's like terrible.
Yeah.
How was yours?
The rain got to me too, and it was just a chore dealing with the rain and the performances and stuff, and going in and out with your equipment.
Yeah.
But, I look at it this way, and it's like when you as far as performances and things you're doing, you create memories, and it was some good times had on.
That's good. That's good. I want to thank everybody for coming out to celebrate my birthday with me. That was pretty cool. And I felt so much love. So I just want to send a shout out to everybody that was able to make it. And we didn't do the show last Monday, but I got to hang out with my men's and them and had a great time. And I have to post the video because I looked at the 2 videos and we are hilarious at the cocktails.
I saw part of his like mixture of let me see, People Gone Wild.
Yeah,
Soul
it was
Train,
like,
Soul
yeah,
Train
we kind of
review.
did some of everything. We were singing Jeffrey Osborne. Who else? We were singing somebody else.
Somebody's raising the roof.
Yeah, or the shirt. You know, was a lot of stuff going on, but we don't get to hang out. You know, when we're not doing the show, so it was kind of nice. Um, Now we're back at the radio
And
station.
where was your birthday at?
It was at Corinthians
Yes.
Restaurant and Lounge. Let me tell you something. We love Corinthians, and they love us.
Yes.
We always have a great time there. There's so much love there. You know, it kind of, when you're around there, you kind of feel like you're at home.
I agree. And don't get me wrong, there's been other places we hosted shows and we did guest appearances and stuff like that. Corinthians is one of the places you always feel like home.
You feel
And I
like
kinda-
you're at home. Yeah.
Like I said, there's other great places like Zow House is another place.
Yeah.
Up and coming. You get that same kind of feeling.
It's true.
Chow Bella's the same thing.
Oh yeah,
Some
definitely.
great owners down there. So, but Corinthians is definitely one of them neighborhood spots.
Yeah,
If you're in that area, definitely support them.
definitely.
Food is good. Drinks are always on point.
Oh my God, yes. I got to shout out Devin, the bartender at Corinthians. If you're in the area and you stop in at Corinthians, check out Devin. He makes a powerful tropical Long Island. And everybody knows that a Long Island is like my favorite drink. Hi, Sally. Hi, Jawan. Thanks for joining me. Um, it's funny because the tropical Long Island kind of gets you there fast. You know, I'm not a slow. Let me just gradually work up to it. Now I want to get there fast, and that's what the Long Island does for me.
That's what she said.
I'm just saying. But don't fucking judge me. And if you do, who gives a fuck? So.
Yeah.
So it's a nice place to visit. And as you mentioned, the Zow House, which is located on 4500 Garrison Boulevard. It's not like most lounges that you visit. It's really laid back. I always feel like I could take my shoes off there because it's really comfortable. So definitely check them out. And Ciao Bella Restaurant. It's an upscale restaurant down in Little Italy. That address in the heart of Little Italy. And they were voted best Italian food in Baltimore. So check them out at 236 South High Street. Tony Gambino is the owner there. So let them know that the Intimacy Chronicles sent you.
And definitely happy belated birthday. You looking
Well,
great.
thank you.
know,
Thank you.
we're not-
52, y'all. 52.
See that?
Yeah.
Black
I'm
don't
loving
crack.
it.
Black don't crack unless you do crack.
And I'm
Always
still
remember that.
frisky. Let me just say, that was probably a little too much. So, we haven't been in the station in a few weeks because we've been shooting off set. So tonight, someone posted something that was kind of interesting, and then I like to get y'all input. Well, you since you're here, but do you think that people that have been in long-term relationships, do you think that the internet has given them a luxury to the point where they may feel like they don't have to work on it because they have options now with these dating sites and messenger app and things like that? Do you think that for some it's an ego boost and they feel like I don't have to take this because I got all these options online?
Well, it depends on what they get out of it because it is an easy option because in the past, in order for you to get that kind of attention, you had to be out and about in the community.
Right.
It takes a lot more attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more access, and it depends. It depends on the situation. I don't know if just because you have an option to go to a dating site, it means that you get the attention that you want. But it can be a distraction,
Yeah.
and some people get just like any kind of other addiction. Some people get addicted to it.
Oh
And
yeah.
addicted to the attention,
Right.
and it can be problematic as well.
Yeah. I think that it gives a false security. Wouldn't you say? I'm gonna say that a false security in a sense that you think that what you see online may be better than what you have at home.
That's true.
So it's kind of like a you leave the 80 for a 20.
Well, yeah, you get an opportunity to present yourself and to present yourself on how you feel. I mean, not how you feel, but you could present another you, and
Right.
that could be an issue too. Because,
Yeah.
you know how people post stuff, make it seem like their life is so great,
And you know the real person and know damn well that's not the truth.
I'll be like, I know he ain't traveling. He owe me money.
Right, exactly.
You know, posting about all kinds of stuff and how great your life is.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it can be an addiction.
Yeah.
Because people get so caught up in that.
Right. You get caught up in the life that you built on social media, knowing you're not living that life. And I guess it could kind of make you power drunk in a sense because those people don't know the real you.
So let's go back to your question about the distraction and attraction. So here we are, your person in a long-term relationship, and they get caught up in. Now all of a sudden they see that there's other things out there, and there are options. Can it cause issues in the relationship? And I think yes. I mean, I think if and it's the same, and I think it's just a matter of access because now it's so.
Because I'm freaking melting over here.
I'm cold.
You cold?
No, it's facing this way. Let's see if I.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
gonna
keep
rig.
that door open.
I'm gonna rig something up
I'm gonna be afraid.
there. I'm gonna nigger rig something.
Lord have mercy. So Ty said it's easy to hide your faults, and I have to agree because you can be anything or anyone you want online. And then I wonder how long are you able to keep up the facade? You know, eventually the real. Did you bring your blue pill to the table?
Blue pill.
Oh, okay. Look, blue. I thought she was advertising. I got distracted. So anyway, I do think it's a lot of that. But who would you say is more guilty of that? Would you say women or men? And I'm gonna kind of annoy the men because I'm gonna say the men are probably more guilty of that. I think that when you start thinking in terms of the dating websites, I believe that there are a lot of married men on those websites pretending to be single. Fellas?
No.
Oh, God. I knew that would kind of like rile them up. Ty says both, but I'm going to say that the percentage, Ty, is higher in men than women.
I disagree because if you look at all of these social media sites, you see more women thirst trapping than men.
Thirst trapping.
Thirst trap.
That's what we're calling it. Okay, tell me why. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to definitely stick with the men.
Well, tell me why.
Let me tell you why. Because
of your inbox. The things in
no,
your inbox.
and let me say this when we talk about the inbox. As long as we've been doing this show, I think it goes kind of to how you carry yourself. We talk about sex and everything else in between, but I've never had a person kind of like send me a dick pic or anything like that. I've never had anybody say anything to me out the way. I had somebody inbox me to ask me was I married. Once I said yes, that was the end. He never contacted me again. Oh, that feels good. But never had, you are a genius. Never have I had anybody send me inappropriate pictures. And I know some people are going to get mad, but I think when you get inappropriate pictures, I think it's probably the energy that you put out there.
True.
Um, if you're advertising, whether you want to believe it or not, you you draw that attention to you. Um, I'm not going to say, and here's why I say that, because you have to understand that not all men are mature enough to appreciate a sexy woman. And because you put your stuff on display, it's going to open the door up for men to proposition you. I don't give a fuck if you don't believe it or not, but it does. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't. But you have to understand that all men aren't mature enough to handle a sexy woman. There are some women that are probably equally as guilty of that. So I don't believe that we should be penalized because of how we look or how we dress, but there are some people that are not able to handle it. Your take?
So we're still talking about.
I'm
we're
just
talking
saying
about unwarranted advances.
unwanted advances.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control. I always look at it this way. I don't sweat myself over unwarranted advances because people. Hey, part of me in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I wonder if I still could pull this, or I wonder if I still have that attraction. But you know, you have to set boundaries.
You do have to set boundaries.
You know,
I agree.
And even though someone might approach you and say, and then you get that vibe that they're interested in you. In the back of your mind, be like, okay, I still got it, but you know what? With all due respect, I'm happy and I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
So we just gonna have to draw the line right there. But I appreciate,
Right.
because let's say that no one never really tries their hand. How are you gonna feel?
Yeah. I think we're human, and I think we all like to know, no matter what age we are, that we still have it.
I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah. I'm in a relationship, but I still, if I get a compliment, I appreciate it. It doesn't mean that I'm interested, and I think the problem that I have a lot of times is because I'm friendly, and Dr. Love and I have had this conversation, because I'm friendly, people assume that I'm interested. And don't fucking sit there talking about I show up looking like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and stuff like that. Listen, I don't have any control over how someone else feels. Now, I might smile at you, I might say hello, I might, all of that. I'm probably going to laugh and talk with you, but please understand, I'm not interested. And I have a similar situation going on right now, where I just kind of have to make it clear, y'all shady. I have to make it clear, listen, if it ain't business related, I'm not interested. But without hurting somebody's feelings, because I'm always mindful of that. Don't fucking look at me like that. Why don't you?
Let me just say why I say what I say, and why she says what she says. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Big Nate, aka Dr. Love. I'm back in the building.
I thought he was on
Back in the building. Sorry I'm late. I had to take care of something before I came in. But
bang bang bang.
Bang, bang, bang. No.
No, because he would have came in with a smile on his face if it was bang, bang, bang.
No.
You wouldn't have came in with a smile?
From her, yeah. From Regina,
yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't come from Regina House.
Okay.
But, say what I say is because I've had this conversation with Jackie, and I've said to her that she don't know that the way that she sits, stares, smiles, or whatever, if a man is not used to the conversation or the comfort zone that she brings, that they can easily be drawn into that.
Then should I be responsible for that?
You should be like a light switch. you know how to turn it off.
And see,
And you don't know how to turn it off because in your mind you just feel like
I'm me.
it's just business. But but in their minds they enjoy the pleasure and the comfort. Not the pleasure, but they enjoy the conversation. You know, they enjoy your aura that you bring. You know, because you know we represent the Intimacy Chronicles, so it's like, you know, you bring this red aura to yourself. So men who you dealing in business with, we tend to be drawn in. It ain't that you doing it intentionally, but when I said something to you, you gotta admit you caught yourself a little bit like, okay, maybe there's certain things I need to just go ahead and tune down.
But I also said, why should I have to tune down who I am because somebody else isn't used to interacting with a halfway decent looking woman? Why should I have to tone that down? If I have no control over what's in your mind.
Hold on, Elizabeth. Now she do have a banging personality. I give her that, and it's not cool to hit on her. I do understand that, but when you have her who basically is looking at the men not on a, you know, intimacy level, but to the point where it's like, well, you know, let's do business. Let's get it popping. Let's get to,
Okay,
you know,
what is sexual about that?
because if a man is horny, and if a man ain't got no woman, if a man ain't having that woman to talk to him like you talk to him, they get drawn in.
Well, but that again, that's on that man. I have no control over what you're not used to receiving. And should I? I'm not gonna say dummy down, but should I like change? I am who I am.
Can you admit that there's times you catch yourself batting your eyes?
I don't think I bat my eyes. I think they may perceive it as me batting my eyes. I don't feel like I should have to water down my personality because some fucking man isn't used to getting or having a conversation with a woman. I don't feel that. And it goes back to what I said. Not everybody is mature enough to be able to receive that. You know, we've had many conversations. Not one time did he ever feel she's coming on to me. Nobody in the band could even say, and even though you made interested.
It's funny because when he was telling that story, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, the first time I saw Jackie, what kind of vibe was I getting? And
don't lie.
I ain't lying. I'm
really honest because he's mature.
And I really have to side with Jackie on this one because I saw you as a person, an extrovert. I saw you as a natural flirt.
It's not in that context. That's not what he's saying. Yeah.
Because I could kind of relate to that too.
Yeah.
I saw you as an extrovert, someone who was speaking to everyone, engaging.
Right.
You know, you just had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You had a lot of energy, and even though it was a business relationship, I didn't feel it was like a situation where it was you expressed yourself. We had a great relationship with as far as from a business standpoint.
Right.
I wasn't getting that at all. I wasn't looking. I didn't see. I didn't look at you like that.
Yeah.
Why you got turn your face up when you say that?
No. Because I'm saying it's like I don't want you to. It's like
I want you to be honest.
Yeah, look at you like that.
No. Because visibly attractive.
Yeah.
But it was. That's just me because but there's some men out there who really, and I know people like this, who honestly believe that every woman likes them.
Exactly.
And I had a conversation with this one guy who believes that, and I actually said, first time you saw my wife, be honest, Did you think that she can be interested in you? He said, yeah. That's just in his mind. And I was like, wow, you know.
No, not take that into
No, I ain't worried about that. But it's just a situation where, you know, as much as charismatic I think I am in my own mind, I know I'm not everybody's type.
Right.
And everybody's not my type. You know, so that's why I can compartmentalize and say, okay, I'm attracted to this person, I'm attracted to that person, I'm not attracted to that person. Even though you look good, you know, so it's not, and you're right, I think it's a maturity of that person. It takes, but again, I just saw you as a person who, you had a lot of energy, working the room, engaging, and a lot of good energy there.
Yeah, and I have to read, thank you for your honesty. I have to read Eric's comment because Eric says, and he's like one of my closest friends. We've been friends for years, and I've never looked at you in that way. More like a big sister who I can talk to about anything. And believe me, if you hear some of the conversations that Eric and I have had, it would probably blow your mind. It's like we can actually talk about everything, and yet we never looked at each other in a way where, oh, I wonder what it would be like. No, I never look at him in that way. And again, I have to take it back to maturity because, again, like you said, the guy who thinks that all women want him, I'm sure, you know, the people that we come across, whether it's at Corinthians, the Zal House, or wherever, probably figure because I'm friendly that I'm interested. And that's why I make that statement usually every show. Because I'm friendly, it does not mean I'm interested.
Well, let me explain what happened when I first met Jackie. Damn it. I need to tell my story.
Well, wait a minute. Let me read one last comment. So, Eric says, but some women who are fine think everyone that says hello wants them. And I completely agree. There are those out there like that.
Including you.
No, and it's funny, but that was an honest question. I think for me, I'm gonna be very honest, and I've said this to you a few times. I've said this to my brother-in-law. If I'm out somewhere and somebody's interested in me, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. I don't want to cuss them out or hurt their feelings, so I try to be nice. And then I think sometimes they take that niceness as, yeah, she wants me. Yeah. So I think it's kind of, it's a thin line, but I don't feel like I have to change who I am because of what's in somebody else's mind. Ty says, exactly, she's responding to Eric's comment. So go ahead and tell your story. Because before you get started, let me just clear this up. In no form or fashion did I ever make you feel like I was interested. So now go ahead.
Was that a statement or a question?
It's a statement. It's a statement.
Rhetorical?
So, because we met at Real Talk at Pages, but I'm going to let you tell your story.
All right, first of all, Elizabeth says, when you have a clown-ass dude that can't see that big-ass ring,
okay, say it again, Elizabeth.
You are who you are, change for no one.
Yes, thank you.
So, when I met Jackie, she was young and spirit-hearted, had a lot of gallop.
Is this a eulogy or what?
Oh, I feel like a horse, you know.
Jackie had a lot of gallop when I first met her.
A lot of gallop.
And I didn't know how to take it, you know. But, you know, for some reason we clicked. We vibed. And when she found out I was a mechanic, you know, she was like, we need to hook up. So at first I didn't know how to take that.
I mean, how she said, I need some back end work.
And this is why you're the quiet storm.
No, she said, yeah, sometimes you need to be quiet, Storm.
That was slick. That was real slick. Damn, that was slick.
But you know, I took it as she may have been feeling the boy, but I said, listen, I want to keep this on the business level. And she says, I mean, no
you
doubt.
fucking lost your mind. That's what I said.
No. Listen. No, listen. When I why? Cause I was big? Cause I'm big? Is that what it is?
No, I'm just saying.
When I first met Jackie, I said, cause when you see a ring on a woman's finger, every woman that wears a ring ain't married. Every woman that wears a ring
ain't tell themselves.
ain't happy. So, just in a gradual conversation, not trying to hit on her, that's when I found out she was married. So, it started off as a business relationship, and then it turned into more, where that's like my road dog. So, it never went like that. It was just more of a business, but that's my boy right there. So, I haven't felt any way differently. At first, I really probably thought she was coming on to me. This past Halloween, when we took a picture, and she decided to grab my titty. I didn't think nothing of it at first.
It just was calling me. It was just something about that.
I didn't think nothing of it at first, but when I got in the truck, I was like, I wanted to say I felt violated, but it felt good. It felt good. It felt good. So.
Well, if I violated you, I'm sorry.
No.
The way your titty
I didn't say that you violated me. I never came out and said that. But I just felt like, I guess that's the only.
You were broke.
I guess that's the only closest.
You're part of the Me Too movement.
I guess that's the only closest hand I'll get from Jackie to me.
I'm picturing him going home, curled up in a fetal position at the bottom of the shower with his clothes on, crying.
You didn't get closure.
With the water running on him.
Oh my God! Quiet storm. Quiet storm. Yeah, I think, and I remember when I first met Mr. Sensational, and we clicked. It was like we talked like we've been knowing each other for a long time. But then you go places and you talk to people and they look at it like it's something more, or you might have given them the best conversation that they ever had, and they feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't control it. I mean, you only can control once it's get presented to you, because I've been in situations where I think, and I have to admit, I think I was putting off the wrong vibe.
Right.
And next where I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little off here. Once we get past that understanding, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been on a couple occasions, it's throughout. I'm thinking back. I think I probably flirted a little too much, or I floated, or just been too friendly with the wrong person.
Right.
And they caught those kind of vibes.
Yeah. Especially if they're not used to it.
Yes,
Because I think that's a lot of it. I think that sometimes you speak to someone and it could be the way you spoke to them, where nobody has ever spoke to them in that manner.
Well, sometimes it's like people feel a chemistry and feel a vibe, and they connect and they feel that way, but it's not reciprocated. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes it be that way, where sometimes you talk to somebody, you click, and it's mutual, and that's a lovely thing, but it's not all the time. It's mutual.
It's you can click, but it doesn't mean it's a love connection. Now, Tammy says that love is sneaky sometimes.
True.
I agree with you, Tammy, but if you click with me because of a conversation we had, it doesn't mean I'm attracted to you.
Yeah,
that's your feeling. You know, but you can't expect me to feel the same way.
Well, has there ever been a situation in your life, we're talking about the young Jackie, where you might have felt otherwise? You was like, oh my God, we get together, we have so much, we can conversate so good, and I think I love him. You know,
I've had in my 20s, there was a guy I met. I felt like we could talk about any and everything. Um, but I knew too he wasn't interested. But I fantasized about being with him. Like, God damn, he just gets me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I knew that it wasn't going anywhere. But I wanted it to. But I never put those feelings out there because I knew up front.
It don't matter if you put the feelings out there. It doesn't matter how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like a strong connection to him.
What's the use of suppressing your feelings? Let's talk about how you feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just being devil's advocate. So it sounds like it really sounds like it's a maturity thing. Because,
it is.
Because where you were years ago,
mm-hmm.
you might have some cats who never progressed.
True.
And still in that infant, I would say, precocious dating stage where they haven't evolved into, not every good conversation is a love connection. And just because she's actually answering my questions and talking to me, it doesn't mean that she's necessarily interested or will work.
True. I agree because it is a maturity thing. The person that I am now, I know the difference. In my 20s, I knew that young man wasn't interested, but I still had a connection to him.
Okay.
But because I knew he wasn't interested, I wasn't going to make it uncomfortable between us by coming on to him. Because I didn't want to lose, I valued him as a friend. So I didn't want to lose that friendship. So we're still, we're still friends.
I think you should have just jumped his moments. I mean, using your phone.
But here's the thing, in terms of jumping bones. Again, in my 20s, I could do that and disconnect. I think the older that you get, you become more in your feelings.
See, here's the thing. A lot of people, they don't believe that two or three people can just have good conversation.
True, I agree.
Hang out, and laugh and different things.
Right.
Without something going on.
I agree.
No matter how much we know that it's not, it could be somebody who watches us every Monday and saw us last Monday and said, geez, I know Jackie party hitting one of them.
Yeah, because
which one is it? The one with the glasses, or is she hitting the big fella?
Yeah, people think like that.
These are years of friendship, years of and when you got a good friendship, when you can chastise each other without any feelings being involved, where the other person can understand what you're saying and what's going on, and they can understand how you're feeling and different things like that. They know when to say certain things, and they know when to not say certain things, because they can understand you and feel you. But just like prime example, that we've been to many events together, and as soon as we walk in, when we step out, we step out. So people look at us like, damn, either the big fella got himself a cougar, or the cougar, they ride the cradle. Some shit.
Now, ain't nobody thinking I done robbed the cradle now.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
just saying.
the way mindset, I'm gonna tell you that probably was the mindset when we showed up at Echo Lounge.
Yeah.
Because when we walked in there, you would have thought we was celebrities.
Yeah, definitely.
Celebrities. But and the same thing is when y'all two are together. It doesn't mean that it has to go that way. So, it's like, I think just with that one situation, since we've been doing this, that's probably been the only major situation, that we had to really encounter. I mean, besides the ones that Corinthians who, when they get the taste of the liquor.
The taste of the liquor, and then they distract the two of you, and then I'm left
I don't think they give a
But
fuck.
I'm left alone.
I don't think they give a fuck about us. I think it's when you start saying, you know, you gotta go to that cataclysmic orgasm.
Is that what gets them?
And these motherfuckers, I'm telling you, they be fucking drooling. They be fucking, cause they either ain't got nobody or they ain't got nobody
that's giving them a cataclysmic orgasm.
That's giving them a cataclysmic orgasm. I'm telling you. Let me tell you, it's funny because the last time we was at Corinthians, I saw it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what happened. When you start talking about the butt, eating the butt or fitting in the butt or whatever, you usually know which one is doing it.
It's the guy in the...
Cause they start doing like this.
They start shifting in
They start shifting in the chairs and shit. Watch next time when we go over there, you start talking about it. Watch how they just start. Come on.
Well, you know that corner crew, I had them wound up because I said something about, because this is the thing that annoys me. I said that men, when their shit is tight, they don't have to brag about their dick. That's what boys do. You let your dick do the talking for you. You don't have to brag about your shit. And so one of the guys back there was just like something about, well, why can't I brag about my dick? I just feel like that's what boys do. When you're putting it down like that, you don't even have to talk about it. You know? I think, again, that's a maturity thing. Because what I found in the past, that men that always said, oh, I'm going to do this. I had a guy, I think I shared this before. I'm not going to say size matters. I think that you got to know what to do with what you have. And I had a guy a long time ago says, can we turn the lights out? And I'm like, no, damn it, I need to see. I need to make sure you ain't got no bump or whatever. You understand? I need to see it.
You don't know if he had bumps?
Not if I can't see it, well, it's not going in. I need to see it. I need to look at it. I need to look at it. You know, I had a clapper, so I can clap the lights out once I saw it. But I need to see it. So I understood why he didn't want me to see it. Okay. So, not going to speak ill of the dead, but his shit was small and he didn't know how to use it. And what I mean by that, he was taking long strokes and he wasn't about that life. You understand? You can't take long strokes and you keep falling out.
Listen.
You ain't built like that.
They're women. You acting up again.
I'm trying not to, but they're bringing it out of me. Let me, wait a minute. Penny says, he got 5 pumps and he was done. Penny said, laugh out loud, he's too much. I think that men, you all have to understand that bragging about what you can do and then falling short on it. You can talk about it, ain't nobody scared of you, but falling short on your promise.
I like this look.
Falling short, they like this. You know why they like this? Because it looked like I'm taking 2.
Hercules.
So anyway, to fall short on the promise to wear me out and you can't, I got a problem. Cut it out. So Tammy says, I ain't got my glasses. She say, long dick thoughts with a small dick action. There you go, Tammy. There you go. Oh, I can take it. You guys see the comments? I'm just saying. What y'all? What? Okay. I'm gonna do the assembly line, okay? Don't fucking come for me.
Now I'm very wrong.
I'm just saying. Right.
Oh, that's funny.
You see they got jokes.
That's funny.
They got jokes. Okay, let's say you got a small penis, okay? But you know what to do. You can still blow my mind with it if you know how to use it. You know, because I've had the big dick guy and he was a minute man and that minute wasn't enough for me to get my shit going. So
why y'all?
I'm just saying,
know,
no, I'm
why
saying
y'all always want the
my
damn
thing
lights
is it before it goes in.
I want the lights on too.
Okay.
Okay, you need to see too.
No, what you want to see for?
I want to see everything.
Yes, sir.
I want to see how.
We are
I keep
visual
my eyes-
creatures. We need to see
I
everything.
keep my eyes open
Huh?
while you make faces.
We're visual creatures.
You petty man.
Man, I don't need to. Man, listen. Listen. I don't need to see. a
Oh, they want to
motherfucking
see
fact.
Mr. Sensation. Mr. Sensation, they want to see you. Can you kind of like
Oh, but he need theme music first.
Boom,
show
boom.
your curly hair and all that
Boom,
shit?
boom.
I'm
boom,
done.
Boom.
Okay,
That's it.
that's Mr. Sensational. Now that's my sparring partner because
Yes,
we
we go
get
back
into
to-
it
Show the
every
shirt,
show
the shirt.
that he's participating in. I had to put that out there because
Bow.
guess I'm petty.
Get the shirt.
Baltimore versus y'all whores.
Whatever. Whatever.
Damn!
So now
Out of all the time you chose to wear that shirt today,
Mr.
damn!
Sensational has something to say, so say
Get
it.
'em.
What we talking about?
Dicks.
I don't know nothing but my own.
I'm just saying. So are you a bragger? Went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah.
So can you
I wasn't
deliver on your
expecting that.
promise, or are you just a simply
See, I
bragger?
caught something earlier about bragging. I'm looking at it like this. You know what? Coca-Cola's got the #1 soda, and Walmart and Amazon got the #1, sales, but they still run commercials.
Is that bragging or advertising?
No, it's advertisement is the key to business.
It is the key, but they can deliver on their
You
product.
have to deliver on the product.
Yeah, are you able to deliver on your
And
product?
some say Coke is garbage.
I'm a Pepsi person myself. Okay.
I'm a McDonald's millions
But
and
when you're
millions
thirsty,
served
you're
and whatnot,
drinking
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
No, not so. You gotta kind of be like in a desert or something. You understand? Want no powdered
When you're
milk?
thirsty, you're drinking.
I'm just saying.
You drink lime.
And they say Coca-Cola is never filling. You gotta keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming
It's
back.
got that
Quench the
comeback.
thirst.
There you go.
But
It's
you
got
can
that
have a-
comeback.
No, that ain't even good, brother.
But you can have
Say
a
it
Coke and
again.
a smile.
That ain't even good. I stay the fuck away from Coke. Cause once you drink a bottle of Coke, you want another one because your thirst ain't quenched. That Pepsi
But that Pepsi,
Stay thirsty.
hits it right
No.
on the spot.
yes
Stay
indeed.
thirsty.
Ain't nothing like a
Hits it right
Pepsi.
on the spot.
Pepsi is just
Have a
it's
Coke
a
and a
watered
smile.
down Coke.
Now, me personally,
I
my
need
favorite
that.
soda, Dr. Pepper. Dr. Love, Dr. Pepper.
Oh, see.
Hey, don't fucking judge me.
And you know what, Tammy? I agree. Men with the strong dick game don't have to talk about it. It's like you very rarely hear them brag about what they can deliver. They're just gonna lay the pipe and keep it moving.
Keep the lights on and just watch the surprise.
Well, you can turn the lights off once I see it.
My
You know what I'm
question
saying?
is, why is it that y'all women always feel like that the men should come in and lay the pipe? When some of y'all can't even wrap
that's
your
what
mouth
plumbers
around
do.
the pipe.
Say it again.
That's what plumbers do.
Thank you. The fuck you being sensitive about
Listen,
it for?
I ain't
Put
being
your hard hat on and get
Listen,
to work.
no,
Exactly,
what I'm saying
exactly.
is, why women always want a man to lay pipe, but they don't know how to suck the pipe.
Well, the pipe
Each
has
one
to
teach
be,
one, you know what I'm saying?
and not
Nah,
just that. Let me just say this.
Shit, no dick
The
left
pipe
behind.
has to be appetizing. If it don't look
Shit.
like, if it ain't looking right, goddamn right we ain't gonna suck it. We have to be turned on to it to want to suck it. You understand? Just like y'all don't suck everybody's coochie.
Do you like
We
yours
gotta
sucked?
want to. I like it sucked, licked.
I
You
walk
know.
into an X-rated conversation.
Well,
Huh?
I think I did.
we're not FCC. Right?
It's true, we're not.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm scared.
FUCC.
Is this FCC?
listen.
Hell,
Time out for you.
it's Comcast.
Time out. A motivated woman
Freaking chicken
will please her man, but you have to motivate her. And you're absolutely right, Tammy. When I look at you and I'm not turned on, I'm not in the state where I just want to suck the hell out of it, I'm not going to. And if I do, I'm gonna give you a half-ass job.
Here's let me say this.
Here's the
Whoa.
let me say this.
Let me say this. Even so, I remember a time where going through, you know, every relationship I've been in, they say I was the best, right?
That's what they saying?
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
That's what the streets say.
And then
That's what the
say.
word on the street.
So,
street say.
of course, you know, I'm taking that feedback, and my head's getting big and bigger and bigger. So I'm thinking I'm this, and I'm thinking that. And then my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, you know, we had the same conversation. And I said, well, you know, every relationship I've been in, they say I was the best. And she said, you know what? You probably were. You probably were the best at that time.
Yeah.
Ain't that a bitch?
But that's honesty.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because first of all, I'm like, man, they I don't believe that. They're just saying that. They're saying, no, they're probably right. You're the best at that time. And help me put things in perspective. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes you think like, okay, you can't still rest on the fact that you're doing this, or you have this particular reaction from this woman. You know, you still have to continue to work on your game. You still have to continue to do what you got to do, and pick up for granted.
Okay, so
and not just
what do your wife say about you right now?
That he's the best.
No, because she said you were back in the day. That means you ain't shit right now. You ain't picked that up?
This was a conversation.
Just because you got 3 kids, 4 kids, whatever you got, but that was a goddamn thing.
No, there's a conversation. There's a conversation we had. Yes.
Yeah, what she say about you now?
I don't have to. Well, I don't have to.
Make sure I'm on.
Yeah, they already married. Whether it's the best or not, exactly.
Make sure I'm
But I
on.
think
I'm just saying. I'm
it's
saying
different
that
from, you know, women. Some women, for them, you were the best. You know, it doesn't. For somebody else, you know, you might not have been. You can't use the same tricks for every.
Yeah, that
and
is.
I say this to say this because, again, it kind of reinforces the fact that as far as sex, real sex is just it's mind and body.
True.
You see, and if that person's into you, especially women are more emotional than men.
Yeah, we
men
are.
is more visual, and if you handle it right, you can do no wrong.
Yeah, and which brings me to a very interesting point. And I've asked this question many times. Are we connecting, or are we just focused on the nut itself? Because I think sometimes, in some instances, you're so focused on having the orgasm, but not so much connecting. Exactly, you know, and sometimes it may leave somebody unfulfilled because you're not focused on the big picture. You're just focused on that nut.
Well, it depends on the relationship, because sometimes in a long-term relationship, you're going to have the moments where, you know, if you don't come when I come, you're going to come when I come back.
Oh, I mean, and you're right, because I'll be honest, sometimes I just...
Damn, I heard that before.
That shit is slick. Sometimes I just want, let's just get it done.
So,
you know, especially when you start thinking the time, look, I just want to fucking go to bed, because let's just get this done. But then there are times it's like, you want the full body experience. Yeah. So I think when you're married a long time, you do have those moments. Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, let's just get this shit done.
So
you know,
we're differentiating now to the sex and the intimacy.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think a lot of times, when you're dating, probably you might not be as focused on that full connection because you're still getting to know them. You know.
And at this point in my life, to me, it's one of the same. I can't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be interested. Even if I was single, I wouldn't even be interested in it. So, you know, just
a fly-by-night fling. Yeah, because you need more because you've had more. So once you've had more, you're not going to downgrade. You know, when we first got married, I think there was no room in anybody's house that was sacred. You know what I'm saying? this stage,
Oh, sweet Jesus, I'm glad I invite you over Thanksgiving.
yeah, because we might have been in your bathroom or something. I'm just saying.
Lord, we cook the food. Good
Be
Jesus.
coming
That's
out
it,
like
Jackie.
be coming out like the parents in Boomerang,
So
with
you
the
know
fur
your
falling
mom
off my
is messed
jacket
up,
and
bro.
curling on.
And how long y'all know?
Or the dress turned back was coming out and shit.
The dress will definitely be backwards.
Man.
But yeah, I think when you grow, you learn different things about each other. The sex should always be to the next level because you're constantly learning different things about one another. I think when you're dating, you're still trying to test the waters.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask everybody this question, but I'm starting with you first. You just turned 52.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're not married.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you had, let's say a little flame, one night stand flame. It's hypothetical.
Okay.
Do you think that you can still go toe to toe with a young boy that's 24?
I'm gonna say absolutely, and it's not ego. It's because of what I know. Because
Okay.
at 24, he's not going to be able to experience a lot of the things that I have already experienced. So I can show him some things. So.
But do you believe you? Do you believe he'll wear you out?
Oh, he's probably going to wear me out. But what I'm going to say is he'll always remember this 52-year-old.
I agree. What about you, sir? Can you still keep up with a 25-year-old?
In his sleep.
You'll come again when you come back. Let's move on.
Did you see that?
What about you, sir? Can
Wow.
you keep up with a 25-year-old?
Don't know why. Why would I even care?
Yeah, because you have a 25-year-old. So would it really matter?
I'm like, I don't think someone 25 is interested.
No. That's not the question, sir.
I wouldn't be interested.
That's not the question,
That's not
sir.
the question.
That is the question.
That is not the
It's
question.
not the
The
question.
question is,
Oh, I got big-
hypothetically,
Hypothetically.
You got what?
if you single guy
Yeah.
Yes.
and knowing who you are right now, could you keep up with a 25-year-old female?
Quite possible.
What is, 25-year-old
What keeping
female,
up?
what's keeping up?
Basically-
older
Right,
women,
because they're
older women
driving
inexperienced
trains,
a
so,
lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
older women bringing it just as much as 25.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because we've
physically,
learned a lot.
It's not till they
here's
get
my
like
answer.
45 and things start
All my
popping,
shit
so.
working.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and
it's possible.
it's all about how much I'm into that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that goes to, would you be interested? You know what I mean? You have to have an interest. I mean, nothing wrong. There's very attractive women of all ages. But I don't think.
I'm glad I didn't take the camera off your motherfucker head when you did
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was slick.
And that's why I said.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes I keep telling you, sometimes the store need to be quiet.
Yeah, hey.
Shit.
He said that so matter of fact, I wear that child out. But I think at this age, if I was single, I definitely wouldn't date a 25-year-old. My age cutoff would be 35. I wouldn't go below 35.
Still around the cradle.
So if he was 34, you
Yeah, no, it's just not the age.
It's not. It's just the.
We talking
Yeah.
about a younger person.
You're
A
right.
significantly younger
Yeah.
person, right?
I couldn't go below 35. I mean, damn, my son is 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was on that.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's like you have to have some sort of interest.
Yeah.
Really, only thing
Yeah.
a 20-some-year-old
But you
woman
gotta
can
remember,
do for me right now is get pregnant.
Remember, he in his 20s, so.
In his mind. In his mind. So,
ain't saying
now you answer the question.
sure.
In
Sure.
your mind or
Sure, I'm
for
gonna answer the
real?
question, or
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
are you
Listen.
sure?
Yes. If
Now,
I was
let me ask you. Is that her riding you?
No.
Just ask.
I know that's the big joke that was coming out.
It wasn't.
Yeah, because I
It wasn't.
knew that's the reason why you asked
How
that.
can you keep up?
Why you want details?
I don't want to know the details.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Clean.
It's
And I'm going to give it what
really
you want.
keep it dirty all night long.
Let's
Now
keep
you
this
want to keep it
clean.
clean.
We try-
No,
'cause
that's not
I'm
what
here
I'm
now.
asking. I'm saying
I'm
in
the
terms of
sensitive.
stamina. Do you think that you can keep up with a 25-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
what I got them blue pills for.
That's the same thing I just said.
These
I
are not
just said
fucking
that.
blue pills.
You got the Supermans over there?
I just said he
These are
brought
not
his blue pills to the
These are
table.
not- These are not the pills y'all think. Okay.
Then what are they?
We drinking coconut water and eating okra, right?
You gonna give him a really? He just
Ginger
insulted.
being raw,
Yeah,
yeah, bro.
yeah.
You know how to go there.
Guinness.
Lord have mercy. So okay, that was good. That was good. Would you date? I mean, because you
look,
kind of in
don't
the
be
same
taking them
situation
Superman
I'm in
around
terms
me,
of
no.
younger.
Man,
You
you got
have
to be crazy.
children. You have a daughter. That's what, 25 or
She's 21.
21? Okay, yeah. So that's not on your playing field.
Yeah, because I even at this point, when I see women that age,
Mm-hmm.
where other men will say, "Yeah, look at her, look at her." I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I
So
don't
that's-
like that
that is
either.
just-
Yeah.
That's just me, and that's just. So I guess the question is, if she was significantly younger with a lot of energy, if I'm into it,
Yeah,
ain't gonna be no problem. But again,
Anything under like 35, I look as a little kid. Oh, okay.
Well, that's why I said 35 for me.
this was a hypothetical question.
Yeah, it was a hypothetical question.
Now, let me ask this question.
You can still go home.
Right, you can say,
Keys still
"Woo!"
work.
Okay, so let's ask this question. Do your husband right now wear you out?
When he brings all of him, yes.
Dang.
But sometimes he just comes with a half-ass, and I'm like, really? And so it's like, let me get this 15-minute nap.
Y'all two are the pettiest Negroes I've ever met.
But that's not true. I'm so offended. You know, but I can
True.
say,
You act like we go back.
I can say most of the time, yes.
Most of the time, yes.
Most of the time,
That's what's up.
yeah.
Your wife wear you out?
Here's the deal.
Oh shit.
No. Here's the deal. One time, I think I pulled a muscle or something crazy. But I couldn't show
Going
no
to Venus
weakness.
flytrap.
But I couldn't show no weakness, right? Because it's like shark in the water. You know when sharks smell blood in the water?
Oh yeah, we're going there for the kill.
Like, so, yeah, she still hold on.
Yeah. And I think over the years, you learn some different things.
What?
Okay.
You
You
know,
know I'm coming for you, brother.
Look, what?
Yeah, go for it.
Do your woman wear you out?
I'm
You
gonna
have
put
a
it
woman?
this way.
You have a woman first.
I
of all.
have look. My business. That's a whole other thing. I'm gonna put it like this. There has been a time where my heart was beating halfway out my chest. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, but
See?
I'd be damned.
You
You
cannot
weren't
show
gonna give her
weakness,
that.
right?
Can't show me.
Yeah,
cannot show
exactly.
weakness.
That's not gonna
Exactly.
happen. I look. If I got to die
And
here,
men, y'all are like that. Y'all are like that because
it's
I
not
mean,
going down.
Because you know, man, after most of the time, it's like, whoa, you, oh my God, you know, you put her to sleep, you're doing all this stuff, but then when they put you to sleep, you're like, okay, I got.
There are
yeah,
times
yeah.
when you know what, you were just
smell.
not prepared
yeah,
for sport, but the show must go
the
on.
show must go
The show
on.
must go on.
You'll pay for it later, but you know
That's
it's
all
like-
right, because you know what? All you got is your ego at some point.
Well,
That's true.
Sometimes they mess with you and you be like, oh, please don't get
Yeah, because for us, what that tells us is, you know what? It's so funny that you say that. Because we get excited, like, oh yeah, he ready.
That's not the only thing that's ready in this body. I
Yeah.
just got finished playing basketball, you know.
Right, ESP is on right now. Can we please?
Yeah, I think sometimes I'm gonna be very
So
honest.
we just letting you know what goes on the men's side.
Yeah,
Sometimes
oh,
that
I
stuff
appreciate
be
that. I think for us sometimes, I think he waits till I'm asleep to come get in the bed.
Get up.
When he don't
Get up,
feel
Mr.
like
Arthur.
I think he waits until I'm asleep, like, because I know ain't no waking her up now.
I got a question. This is a universal question for
Okay.
all right. So let's say, okay, we're talking about women.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say now I know some women, most women don't sleep in their drawers, but when you do, okay, you do sleep in the drawer, right? In underwear, and we trying to sneak the booty, right? And getting the underwear off, so you sleeping like, and next thing you know, you trying to pull the underwear off, and you be like.
The knees go up even though they sleep.
What you doing? You know, pretending you sleep. What's up with
We want it, but we don't want you to know that we want it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why? You wanted it yesterday.
I know, but
Ain't
I
no
mean,
way.
it's,
What's the difference?
I be like,
Ain't no way I can
stop.
get the girls off this booty without some help.
It always requires
I
assistance.
said, I'm about to get the scissors in.
Cut them
Nah,
off.
I do like this. I say, then them legs come open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what you
Knees come up to the
doing?
chest.
Yeah.
Totally straighten
We
out.
want it, but I think sometimes, we kind of,
You wanted to think that, you want us to think that it's our idea.
yeah, exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who's got the map as long as we get to the right place.
That's true. I agree. But then sometimes I just don't want you to wake me up. So
And then
it
sometimes,
depends.
and then sometimes you're in the fetal position rubbing up.
Now I do that a lot.
But see,
I do that a lot.
Now, see, I'm gonna get petty because see, sometimes y'all just don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But when we don't want to wake up, who you having sex with other than me?
Well, I'm just gonna climb on you. I'm just saying.
See,
You're gonna wake up.
if we don't want to wake up, we cheat.
No, I'm just gonna
If we
climb
don't want
on
to wake
you.
up, you tired.
Well, we're entitled to be tired, but I'm just gonna climb on you.
Well, let me be the first one to say that I didn't get this I didn't get the answer to the question. But when it comes down to my lady, do she wear me out? No.
Shoot, speak
Oh,
wisely.
yes,
do.
Lord. Yes,
I
Lord.
do the wearing out.
Now, is
I
that,
puts her to sleep.
now, is that before or after she tosses your salad?
Oh, see, petty.
Mic drop. I fucking mic
Look,
drop.
if you look close, you can just see his soul leaving his body right now.
Mic drop. Fucking mic
See
drop.
that on the table? That was a
Mic
self-respect.
just fucking
I'm
drop.
just saying.
First of all, let's get something straight.
I think he walked into that.
That-
That was
that-
petty. Now,
that-
everybody knows I'm petty.
Listen.
But did he
Listen.
not walk into that?
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen,
walked into
listen,
it.
check this out. I gets in and she don't wear me out. Okay, now she may have a once in a blue
You
moon
have to go home.
where
brother.
she turns into Tasmanian devil
You have to go home, brother.
and then she catches me off guard. I'm not scared.
You
You
I'm
know
not
what
scared.
he's
Y'all,
doing?
y'all make these things. If she watching, I
Let
ain't
me tell you,
scared.
don't buy into it. You know what he's doing?
Uh-huh.
He's egging her on
He's trying
because
to set up
he's
a little
hoping to get
competition
some.
today.
See, he's using us.
Uh-huh.
He
No,
using us for his foreplay.
no.
He's trying to get a
She
little-
already know. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna have her on the show, and she's gonna be the one to tell you automatically. I beats it up.
Well, we don't want. Everybody don't want to hear about y'all goddamn sex life like that.
Nobody want to hear about y'all neither, but we listen.
We asking questions. I ain't got to bring him on the show for us to
I'm just here
discuss
for the
our
questions.
sex life.
But we listen.
I'm just watching.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Between the shout outs and everything, I think she must be paying for advertisement or something. I'm just saying.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gonna have to pay for this airtime. I mean, we know you're young and in love and stuff, but she probably saying, mention my name a couple of times on the show.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, because I don't want. See, the thing about it is that women, y'all feel like that when y'all make us go to sleep, I know y'all be standing over top of us like, I made his motherfucking ass go to sleep. Yeah, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. My pussy is good.
So you saying she never put you to sleep?
Like a baby feminine mouth and
Okay.
everything.
Right.
You don't
Ass
know.
up in the air.
You don't know. You don't know. A
Alright.
sandwich will make you go to sleep.
You damn right.
But he's always honest about that.
What's your point? Sky is blue,
Exactly.
right?
He's
What's your
always
point?
honest about that.
Shit, pastrami on rye put you to sleep.
I got a menu in my hand right now.
Okay.
What's your
I'm surprised the menu ain't put you to sleep.
Right, the excitement of the food.
This is big boy foreplay right here.
Okay, I'm just saying.
You look at the
Quiet's
menu and
gonna
say,
say, I'm
okay.
out of it. I'm out of this.
So you in the room naked eating.
Yes.
There you
Let me
go.
tell you, this weekend I had Netflix and chill with myself.
Oh
Okay.
my
I got
God.
some food and watched a whole season on Netflix.
What you watch?
What's his the bulletproof brother?
Luke
Cage. I was on
Luke
that.
Cage.
I
was
just
watching that
finished
too.
season 2. Yeah.
I'm on that. I'm
I
on that
just got
episode where
finished season 1.
they was on a bridge.
Okay.
I never knew that bridge was in New York. The high bridge. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Y'all making me hungry. Yeah. So, anyway, let me just ask you a question. So, you saying she's never worn you out, even though we all sitting around this table know that that's a bunch of bullshit. You know, I'm just saying.
Don't look at me, look at her. She talking about your love.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You are
Yeah.
not.
Okay. So she's never worn you out. So you want us to believe that every damn time she's the first one to go to sleep.
Kids.
Okay. Sound like he just came for you.
Whenever we get sitting in,
Well,
Wow.
I already know
That you
what
want
to
to
do to put Rashina to sleep.
But you never answer
Say it
my
again.
question. You never answer
She
my
don't
question.
put me to sleep.
No,
I sleep
no.
because I sleep because of the work I put in.
he sleeps because of the work he puts in.
Listen, my question was, and you never answered this, was that before, is that before or after the salad tossing?
She don't toss my salad.
That stopped last night?
No, she didn't.
That
I
stopped
didn't
last
even see
night?
it last night.
That stopped
I
last
didn't see it
night?
last night.
I'm just
I didn't see
saying.
it last night.
I'm just saying. You
I
see,
didn't
he
see it
trying
last
to
night.
clean it up
The
now,
thing about
right?
the thing about
He's
it
trying
is
to clean
the
it
thing
up.
about it
Yeah,
is
she must be
the
listening.
thing about it, no, she ain't listening. She not even knowing. But what I'm saying
She
is,
listening somewhere.
what I'm saying to you is that she chose not to go for salad no more. Now she likes steak.
The other dog meat.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
baby.
Good night.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see his face.
Signing out.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? The other dog meat.
She goes for that filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it right
Filet
there.
mignon. Dial.
That's it.
Dial. That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of, I think restaurant week's coming this week, right?
So you're taking me to
This
Fogo de
episode is
Chao?
brought to you by.
Is that what you're saying?
I try to go there every week.
I know you do. I know that's your
Where?
spot.
Fogo.
Shit.
That's
God damn, I gotta
Unlimited meat
goddamn self.
until you can't eat no more.
This
That's right.
portion of the
And-
show is brought to you by Restaurant in Baltimore.
Yes,
Every
Send us
night
a
you
check.
can eat out.
exactly.
$35.
How much?
35 a person.
Eat out before.
Not at no Fogo.
Purple was 52 a person.
Oh,
But this week,
But
it's
this week
35
it should be, yeah.
That's a
what place is this?
Fogo de Chao.
This week is 35?
I believe restaurant week is this week.
We should do it. We should do it
Yeah,
one day
I'm
this
with
week,
you.
y'all. Yeah,
I'm with it.
yeah. Y'all with
A
it?
lot of food.
We should do it.
Only
Anyway,
paid
we
to
kind of
fry.
got distracted, so let me
Only
put
paid
us,
to fry.
put us back on. Listen, goddammit. Don't start there showing up with $20 shit.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord, Jesus.
Whatever, man. Whatever. I know. Listen.
I couldn't resist. I
Yeah,
couldn't resist.
because you already know why I did what I did.
Snack.
I'm talking about with me.
Woo, that's a double strike.
Chabella.
Nah. What you talking about?
Why don't you give a little background for the people?
Come on,
That's
Queen.
For those who don't know.
I just paid for your dinner
That's
and
all.
drinks at Corinthians. Come on, Queen.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be petty. And
Yeah,
for
come
the record, let me just tell y'all. Monday we hung out at Corinthians, and Dr. Love, you know, the big spender, made sure he took care of Both of us.
What's so funny,
Who's
man? What's so
laughing?
funny? Why
Now,
you
I
laughing?
give him a hard time. I gotta clear this up. I give him a hard
The big friend
time.
that she being petty,
But
right?
no, I'm not. I give him a hard time, but let me
Nobody gotta
tell
say
you,
the
if
big
he
friend.
has it, he treats. You know, I will say that about him.
As
He's a
long as
very
he's gonna find
kind-hearted guy, but just don't go on a blind date with him. I'm just saying.
Get the fuck out of here, quick. You was doing good until you just.
I was, right?
Goddamn.
He really is a kind-hearted.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was at the finish line, took my legs right out. Goddamn.
Let me correct it. He is he's a very
I
kind.
didn't see the knife.
See, because I do it frontwards, I don't do it backwards.
Yeah, but that's what he did backwards.
Wow.
You came straight from behind.
It's like a
Okay,
99
so I'm gonna
99
correct
yard
it. At the
touchdown
finish
run.
line.
He was at the
Hamstring,
finish
one
line.
yard. Pull a hamstring at the 1 yard line.
Anyway,
Oh, goddamn.
it's not just me, it's both of them. You see the bad influence, they trying to come between us. You see that? And you gonna allow them to do that?
No.
I'm just
You
saying.
know, you let them bring a baby home. You let them bring baby home. You let them motherfuckers come in there,
They
sit around,
did.
put their feet on the couch, and the goddamn thing.
They tricked me. You know what it was? Once Mark said he was paying for folk with their child, I lost my mind.
You
That's
paying
what
for
happened.
go to jail?
He paid for mine.
That's what she heard.
And then
Pay her
Penny flew
mind.
across the corner.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pay
Penny
for
flew
all
across
of
the
it.
table.
All you got to do is provide the money.
See,
You got a bitch.
ain't that a bitch? But I think we should do that. I
God damn,
think that,
wait a minute. You don't,
you know, maybe
listen.
once a week.
You
or
ain't
so
never
we should
been
try
out
get
to dinner
together.
with us.
Love-
At least you can do
Well, but he did show up.
35,
He
35,
showed
35,
up to my
35.
birthday party, and let me tell y'all, he smelled good. I was like, oh, shucks now. Go ahead, Mr. Sensational.
From Delaware.
He wouldn't dance with me. But
That's
he showed
because you
up.
was sitting eating them damn wings.
I waited
Well,
90
it looked
minutes
like you
for
had
a
a
damn
big
Get
break.
the fuck out of here. You waited just as well as I did. Why too? Your shit came before
Hey,
mine.
yours came first.
Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
let's
You
get
did.
back on track. Let's
He
get
didn't
back on
even
track.
want
It
dance.
took 40 minutes to get the
So-
important now.
Anyway.
ATM, drop the money and leave, man.
At the restaurant, I was trying to make a love connection for my son.
Uh,
With
Yeah,
the
nice
little
girl.
waitress.
Not with the old chick.
No.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
No. You know which one I told you was all in this grill. The one that had on the
Oh,
white
no, she likes
blouse.
him anyway. I already know that. But
Oh, okay.
she already know not to go there.
Why is that, Quade?
'Cause
Is
I
it
don't
the
play that
age
shit.
thing?
And I don't think that's my son,
So
so
she
that's
not-
off limits.
She not cool because she a Black Panther.
So she already know not to go
March.
there.
Wakanda Bravo.
Anyway,
Damn! Queen getting upset because her son got a cougar.
he don't have a cougar. He's not interested in her. She's interested in him. And then the thing about my son, let me say this. We talk about any and everything. And if he was, he'd tell me. I mean, he has a right to choose.
He probably
who
don't
he
know how you
wants to
gonna
be
take
with.
it.
So the young lady, Shy.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but they've been, keeping in touch with one another. So,
Interesting.
yeah. You never know what might develop. I think that she's a very sweet young lady. I love having her as our waitress because she's very attentive. That thing that we had last week, she wasn't really attentive like that.
Mm.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah. I didn't think she was that attentive.
Summer job.
Yeah, and that's what it seemed like. Okay, what can I get for y'all? Like, she's doing us a favor. And the thing with me, I love good customer service. I will tip the hell out of you if the service is really good. But if it's not, it's going to reflect in that tip. Because I don't want your attitude.
Yeah. That's why you get on me. See, I'm gonna tell you, like when me and Rashina, we go out or whatever.
Another
She
club.
she
I was
got
supposed to
this.
about $5 each
She
time.
That's what
got
I'm
she got
saying.
this calculator where you can calculate the tip or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm all for if you're not consistently asking me am I okay or making sure this or whatever, I'm not gonna be so granted to give you a $10 tip. I'm sorry, that's just me. You may get 3.
But the thing that I noticed with the
No, I'm not going by that. I'm not going by that.
Can't go by the percentage.
you gotta go
I'll
by
be
the
by
Why?
percentage.
Why?
because that's the way
Because
you're
they making
supposed to do it.
$2 an hour themselves.
Who gives a damn?
Right, but and here's the thing though, if you come to the table and say, I'm sorry, it's really busy right now, you know what? You still
I can
gonna get
respect that.
exactly. But when you come back and you give an attitude and then you don't even apologize because you've pretty much ignored us for about 30 minutes or so, I have a problem with that. What I find that a lot of restaurants are doing now is including the tip. So whether you get good service or poor service, that tip is already included in your check.
You should
certain
check that
restaurants.
out though.
Okay, but I noticed that a lot lately.
So you're on a date with a man,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that he doesn't tip, or he doesn't treat the waitress with respect, or he's not nice to the waitress. Because you know that old adage is, don't show me who you are, show me how you treat me.
Exactly. And
So
so for me,
yeah.
I'm not going back out with him because that's a preview of who he is.
And I see that more so with females.
Mhm.
Like you take them out, all of a sudden they want to boss the waitress around.
Yeah, and
that's
you're right.
very
I agree with you.
That's one of the things that was always my pet peeve. I'm like, that it was a turn off.
Yeah, I completely agree. I see women doing that almost as if to try to impress the man.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It
make
does
you
not.
look like a bigger person to belittle another woman in your man's presence. And if he goes out with you again, it's probably because you didn't give him the ass on the first go round, and because he spent money, he's trying to get something.
They're trying to keep it up.
Yeah, but I think that I don't think that we should do that. You know, does it make you feel bigger to put someone else down? If I dated a guy and I saw him doing that to a waiter or waitress, he's not getting a second date. It's unnecessary. You treat people the way that you want to be treated.
They get nasty like that. I might not finish the
Exactly, yeah. Because that's like a preview of things to come. Yeah.
I had my aunt used to take this older lady to shopping, and then they would go to lunch and different things like that. So she says, well, she called me the thing. So she says, the thing, I want just you go and take it a day. Do whatever that I would do or whatever. I don't feel like doing. I said, okay, no problem. So we got past the shopping, got to the hibachi grill out on Owens Mills, and we sat and we ate, conversed a little bit and everything like that. So when she saw that the little Korean woman wasn't coming to her, at her beck and call or whatever, when we got up, she threw a penny on the fucking table.
See,
At that point, I was fucking done.
That's
Like
unnecessary.
I couldn't even get out the restaurant quick enough because, and I mean, she didn't just like put it on the table. She flicked the motherfucker on the table, and the bitch bounced. I said, "Oh my god, that right there." But I mean, that's probably her whole mentality, her whole attitude. You know what I'm saying?
There are certain people that I may go out with, they're family members, and I like to ask for a separate check because some of them don't tip. And what you're not going to do is have all our shit together, and then I'm the one leaving a tip, and you all are not. So I'm petty, and I'll say, can we have separate checks, please? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of those people in that industry don't make a lot of money.
So what do you think their mentality is? I mean, what is
It's
it?
their job. They don't understand that they don't make a lot of money. So they rely on tips. And if the service is good, why not? If the service is bad, I will still tip. You're just not going to get as much as you probably would have gotten.
Okay, so what's a good? Let's say.
Huh?
I've always overtook
Right.
because I dated a lot of
Okay.
Tell you something.
waitresses, people that were in that industry.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is.
Right.
They depend on the tips.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's a
you
good
were
tip for you?
trolling like
20%. If you did a good job, I mean, standard is 10 to 15, and it's 20% is pretty much if your bill is $20, you take $2 and you double it, which is $4.
Okay, so let's say if she brought you food, brought you drink, you ain't see nothing more of her until you ask for the bill.
That's
Now,
not-
mind you, you done needed a refill.
I'd probably give it 10 to 12%. You know,
10 to 12.
I'm with you. I
10%
would still
is a
tip,
dollar out
but
of
yeah.
for the, you know, it's like $10. $10.
What are you
10%
basing
is
this
$10.
off of?
The
The
check.
price?
The check.
That's a tip.
It's always
No, you
it's
can
always
tell,
$10.
You
bro.
can clearly tell.
So if
You
my
get you one of those tip cards.
Yeah.
if my bill is $20, you're gonna get $10. That's 10%. You see what I'm saying? Exceptional service would be 20%, which is $4. So they're not making, you know.
I generally do 15 to 20 all the time. Like I went to
$20 or percent?
Percent.
Like if it's $100 bill,
Like if I went,
you get
I went to flight.
10% would be $10.
Yeah.
I went to
20%
flight
be
Friday. The waitress was awesome. So
Okay.
I gave her 30%, 30 and something percent. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I know it was only 30, but I thought it was worth it. You know what I mean? Just like you gave recommendations. You know, the stuff came out fast.
Right.
I'm like, so
Yeah.
that
And
was
that's
part of
when-
the dining experience.
That's
man.
when you
Right.
don't mind giving the tip.
No, you.
But what we experienced in Corinthians,
You didn't tip.
I only gave her $5.
How much was the
That's
check?
And that's probably you probably over tipped it.
Yeah.
Because
Probably
Because I don't
did.
think we did $50 worth of stuff.
you know how much was his bill?
That's
Like $25, $30, right?
Probably close to 40.
Okay.
You gave her about 15%.
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
Listen,
So
if
I
you
would
don't,
get a separate check when I went out with you.
I mean,
no.
I'm gonna do it like this.
I mean,
You're
am
gonna
I
get your
on a,
standard
am
tip.
No,
I
I'm
on a
just
line
saying,
here?
I think that it's their job, right? They don't make a lot of money. So I feel like to not tip anything is a disservice.
No.
Even if the
I'm not
service
saying
was
I'm not
poor,
saying to not
You
tip
still, I
anything.
feel like you should tip something.
I'm not saying
I like
I'm not
what you
saying
said.
not to tip.
With the 10%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying not to tip. But what I'm saying is that if you don't bring if you bring my food and I don't see no more of you. I've been in restaurants where where it was constantly where they was coming to you constantly saying, hey, how you doing? Are you all right? Do you need some more to drink? Is the food
Now,
good?
what they
you know what I'm
busy
saying?
and what
on
they
the
short
restaurant.
staffed.
Do this next time.
It doesn't matter if they were short staffed or busy. This person, you could tell that they really care. You got some waiters or waitresses that really cared about, because I guess there's a certain amount of tables that belongs, let's say, to you, and then your tables and a certain amount belong to you. So then you get that certain person that says, you know what? Okay, these 4 tables, I'm gonna make sure these 4 tables got my full attention.
Here's what you do. When you tipping, all you gotta do is put a comment. Say,
Right.
I tipped you 10% because you did not do this, and put that on a receipt, because that's going to be tabulated. That's going to be counted up
Yeah.
at the end of the night.
Absolutely.
Because what good is it you making a statement, but they don't even know what the deal is. They in their mind they be like, oh, he cheated. He don't know he don't know how to. Well, just tell the manager. Say, look, I would have tipped you. Say what you got to say, and tell the manager, say, hey, my waitress wasn't attentive, and normally that's not indicative of the service that you have here. So I just want to let you know. I usually tip 20%, but I tip the 10%.
But you know what else you need to make
put
your
it-
expectations known? Because I don't need a person to keep constantly coming back and over, but I will go right up front. You know
I can
what I'm
see
Now,
why, hungry
I've
man.
been in restaurants and I may say, like after I get my drink and they come back and bring my food and said, is everything okay? I'm fine. I got everything I need. But you don't have to keep coming back and forth over, because I'm like you, I don't want to be annoyed.
But when you have one who can, let's say, look from afar, that's attentiveness. You know what I'm saying? If you see my drink is almost gone, yeah, come on over here. Do you want a refill? You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
And that
what we
depends on the
went
restaurant
through,
you go to.
I think it depends on where you are.
what we went through, it was like you saw her every now and then.
You saw the other person more than you saw her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
she, yeah. But
Yes.
she remembered us from the day before. So, and then from the previous month, us being there, but that young lady, to me, didn't want to work.
You know, you can also ask to be in a particular section.
Right, yeah.
You know, I want this person to be my waiter, waitress.
This comes from the player's handbook. Next time y'all out on a date, right?
Who's the
I did
player?
this on. Look, next time y'all out on a date, I did this on the first date as well. You know, tell the waitress, say, you know, I will always go up and say, tell the waitress, say, you know what?
Here we go.
She finally said yes. All this time she's been saying no. She finally said yes. Oh my gosh, congratulations! Next thing you know, you get free drinks, free, you get a free appetizer. And,
Look at you.
Look at it.
Okay.
Look at it.
And I did that when I was dating my wife, and I did the same thing. She thought I was crazy, but she went along with it. If she go along with it, that's right.
Hell,
And you
I might try that.
Definitely, you're gonna get some points, and you're probably gonna get a draw just for coming up with something.
See, from the player's handbook, you heard it here, folks.
From the quiet storm, ladies and gentlemen.
My man.
What is it?
Galatians chapter 3, verse 26.
Hey, you gotta read all the way down to 17.
Oh my God, really?
But
Oh,
don't tell
man.
her. Just and she said, and you look at her reaction. So a lot of times she might blush, and you definitely getting a point.
Yeah, but what
From
if
the
she
quiet
really does
storm.
want to get married?
You heard it here.
It ain't like you gonna get married, but you be like, she fine, and so y'all pretend that it's y'all engagement,
You might get a free cake.
Usually
Okay.
we
But, yeah, you gotta try that.
I'll be big as day. Ladies and gentlemen, she said yes!
Well, one time they went
you
overboard, and the
would,
manager
yeah.
came over. I understand, congratulations on the order. I'm like, yeah.
Almost threw it off, didn't you?
Right.
Got
Yeah.
her lie.
Wow. I like that.
Damn. Yeah, that ain't gonna work for y'all though.
Why not? First of all, he's not gonna say it. I'm gonna say, he said yes.
Damn!
Okay.
I would like a salad.
Yes.
Shade!
Yeah, that was shade.
Shade.
That was shade. That was
Damn, that was a good one. Shade.
All right. So what are your dining, since you're dating right now, what do you find to be difficult in a new relationship, or what are your challenges? Or what do you think your challenges are?
In a new one?
Squeezing the toothpaste from the top.
I think
I don't even know who he is.
I don't even know you anymore.
Exactly. We've been having
Who
a
are
lot
you?
of good moments,
Who are
right?
you? I think the new challenge that you experience in any new relationship, gotta be communication.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be communication, because if you have someone that hasn't had that in their previous, or don't know anything about that, then that's going to be the main situation that you all going to be faced with. The main situation, and it could be as little as in, hey, call me, call me when you got home.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you saying to yourself like, shit,
You haven't heard
they should
anything.
have been home
Yeah.
by now. And then all of a sudden you get the, hello, are you home? Yeah, I've been home. You didn't
But I
call-
think it's
call me
innocent
when you
because
got
we
home.
forget sometimes.
I
I'm
can't-
guilty of that.
Really?
Yeah, I am. Like if y'all say, let me know when you get in or whatever, sometimes I will not. And you know that. And then I'll be like you might call and I'll be like, oh damn, I was supposed to say I made it in. I don't even think about it once I get in. So I'm
Especially
guilty.
when you gotta pee.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
But lately, we do want to know if you got home safe.
Yeah, I get
because of the groundhog.
that. Lord, don't get me
We want to
started
make
on the
sure.
groundhog.
We want to make sure you get in the door.
Right,
Because
right.
the damn groundhog is on your ass
He's
right now.
on my ass. Did you bring my cat litter?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
You know what? That's interesting. When we said you may or may not hit them back.
Yeah.
Now, what would a guy think? Now, myself, if it's like a first date or something like that, and that person didn't hit back, I would think, well, they probably didn't really have that reading time.
Yeah, it's a level because you want to do like from a dating standpoint is you want to see what their level of engagement is. I mean, if I come to you and say, hey, let me know when you get in safely, and you don't respond,
That means you're completely off their mind.
it kind of I would think, okay, their level of engagement is not on my same level because I'm thinking about her.
Right. And I'm thinking about you. As soon as they left your presence.
Yeah, I can. That makes sense. Yeah.
It's not a deal breaker, but it'll be a concern.
I mean, but well, that's what I was saying. Like, if you have someone that has not been in a relationship with communication, and never had a man to say, hey, let me know you got home safe. You feel what I'm saying? Most men is like, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, that's all the more reason you should remember to hit me back.
True.
You know what I mean? I just want to make sure you got home safe because in most situations I would drive you home and walk you up to your door and all that good stuff. So this is my way of doing the same thing without being
overbearing.
So if you didn't plan on doing it, don't agree to it. Say, I'll be okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I won't expect it. But if I say, hey, make sure you text me when you get home. If you say okay, that means you agreed to do it.
You committed to do it.
It's like the electronic thank you note type thing.
Right.
It says, I had a good time, thanks, I'm here.
Right. It's
cool. So
being considerate.
you still have that communication.
Because when I hit it and give you monkey feet, you be like, oh,
Not the monkey
okay.
feet.
I don't know who it is.
Call me.
Do you think, because you missed kind of the early part of the question, do you think that social media has a big impact on dating?
It's funny you say that because me and my lady have had this conversation. And when you say dating, are you talking about as far as hooking up with someone? Social. Well, I'm not gonna say social media. Well, somewhat of social media, but mostly it's basically the dating sites.
Right, and that's what I was saying. I think
the dating
that
sites, Plenty of Fish, Black People Meet, Match.
So there are a lot of single people out there on dating sites.
Yeah,
because that's one thing I never been on a dating site.
Yeah.
I never looked at dating sites. So it's hard for me. So I ain't even know that was an issue.
They even got a dating site for Christians.
Yeah, Christian men.
and half of them are not Christians.
You know?
Christian members.
Right.
I went on there one time. I was like, God damn! I thought it was supposed to be Christians. There ain't no Christians on
They
here.
didn't say good Christian.
Huh?
They didn't say good Christian.
Yeah,
Right.
they didn't say that they had done backslid.
They use the name as Pastor Draws.
Please tell me who is he?
Call me Will. God.
I gotta read Eric's comment. Eric said, I have told chicks that I knew I had no interest in wait a minute, interest in seeing again to let me know that they got home. Yeah, I think that's a gentlemanly thing to do.
If you can't appreciate that, then that's a concern to me.
Yeah.
But maybe they might need, like especially in new relationships, there's a few things that people had to get used to for me. First of all, back in my day, I guess, if you want to say that, they had to understand.
Old,
I know. I've been up the game for
back
a minute,
in my day.
But for real though, it was a big thing. It was a big thing to me about insecurity. I couldn't have no insecure woman because I wasn't a situation. I was getting a lot of attention, so I needed somebody secure, and they had to understand that I wasn't the typical jealous type or anything like that. So, you find it, you find out as well, but I'm not tripping over you having friends. you know, because as long as you kept it respectful, you know, because you had to be you. So that was the biggest thing that I had to deal with, is getting them to understand, to be secure about, you know, that we have different paths, and then when we get together, we get together. So you do you, I do me, but at the same time, we're going to make sure we make the most of our time together.
And I would imagine anybody in any form of entertainment, if you are dating or in a relationship, insecurity will probably at some point come into play.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. And so when I opened that up, I wanted to hear your perspective on it as a station owner.
I have usually.
Please listen to my devil.
I'll say this way.
And I'll hook you up.
If that phone call wouldn't be exactly on time, I'm doing something. You know what I mean? It's like every person that comes in those rooms back there is a customer. Y'all nasty.
They go nasty.
Come as visits. You're nasty.
You don't even say it no more. Yeah, just move past that.
Anybody is a customer. You know what I mean? So we're doing y'all go there nasty.
Drop quarters, please.
Damn shame.
Y'all, exactly. Y'all keep turning his stuff around. Mr. Sensational, I'm listening.
Okay, I'm glad somebody said
Yeah,
that.
I'm listening.
So, you know, it's like people, you have to understand the business is business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't really take that as personal stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you're working, you're making money. You know?
Right.
So that whole insecurity about, well, you deal with a lot of women, and you deal with this person, that person. If you can't deal with that, you got to go.
And you have to know the person that you're dating, because I think when you all have established a connection with one another, you have to trust. You have to have that trust.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have your own insecurities that you haven't come to terms with, you're gonna create a hell for that person.
That's when I realized that I had to deal. It's not necessary. It's a personality type.
Yeah.
That attracted me is because of that same reason.
Mm-hmm.
I need a strong-minded person.
Yeah.
Who is secure in herself.
Exactly. You can't save people.
Yeah, and even with me, I think I'm fortunate because I think it would be very hard for me to have someone and them feel secure, because I'm a very friendly person. So don't assume that everybody I'm speaking to I'm interested in. You know, the one thing I can say when it comes to Harold, he's secure in our relationship. So I never have that, who the fuck is that? Or I never had that issue. I think if I was single and I met somebody, I think it would take a certain kind of person to understand me as a person and to be comfortable with me as a person.
You think Uncle Daddy would
And
be able to deal with
I
that?
just got annoyed.
I'm just saying, no, that type.
That type would not be comfortable with me being the woman that I am.
No.
And you can see that. I mean, it just the way he sits on the chair, you know, up on the chair like that, which is why I sat by you, because I don't want you to you already have the wrong idea, because I've been talking to you. So perhaps I entertained that shit a little bit, you know? So now you feel like you can just call me and, hey, you know, what's going on? Like, listen, you got business to discuss?
He gonna do that video. He gonna do a video about you. Jackie, do you want me? Do you love me? Do you have it?
And God knows I hope it doesn't go viral, because, oh my God.
Lord Jesus.
Oh my God, you know?
And he gonna do the video. He gonna do the video as he stepping out his car while the car going by itself, only for him to get hit by that pole.
And then it will become entertaining.
Oh, you terrible.
I'm just saying.
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying.
Damn.
And the thing is, it's funny when you talk about a situation like that because he's not even the owner.
Mm.
So
That's even worse.
right, but I think that the nephew gives him a certain leadway. You know, let me help my uncle out or whatever the case may be. But you're not even the owner. I don't even feel like I should be talking to you.
I think you better let it go.
You know what I'm saying?
Let it go.
Yeah. When we did the show, and let me tell you about Quiet Storm. I love Quiet Storm because I'm sitting on the stool, and y'all know I can't sit in no damn dress. You know, so my dress was a little short, and here come Quiet Storm, pointing at the iPad like, you see yourself?
Sure,
And my legs was open, and so.
You can see you all up in her tonsils.
But even
the queen is
even
bearing,
with all of
All the
that,
rainbow.
bearing
remember,
the goods.
they was trying to figure out what color drawers I had on. Even with all of that, he still couldn't get it right.
Wow.
So
And he kept trying to guess,
To be perverted.
and we ignored him because it was like, man, come on, it's over with. You know.
I mean, he was just like loud around. I know what the color is.
Right.
Okay, what's the color? She got on purple. You're wrong. No drink for you.
Exactly. So I
No
mean,
drink for you.
you know, when we're out and about, and I take in everything that my men's and them say, but at the end of the day, when we're doing a show and we're off site somewhere, I always make that disclaimer: we're in relationships and we're not interested. Because we're friendly doesn't mean we're interested.
You need to put that
Now I
little,
say that a lot.
It's
You need to put that
entertainment, people.
It's entertainment,
you need to put that
exactly.
little running bar at the bottom.
At the bottom of the screen,
A disclaimer. The
We're
queen is
all
not
spoken
interested.
for. Yeah, I need to put that in there. The queen isn't interested.
Oh shit.
Because it's always somebody.
So you automatically make the mistake of thinking everybody's not nothing and can take things in
Yeah,
perspective.
that's
And
true.
unfortunately,
But that's not the case, especially when alcohol becomes involved.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's amazing though because I think sometimes I get so caught up in being friendly and doing what we do that I'm not mindful of the fact that everybody can't receive that. You know, so I had to be better with that. But it's kind of hard to tell. You know, you're having a friendly conversation with somebody, you still don't realize that. Yeah.
But
Your
sometimes
pictures, your drawings.
Yeah.
once you honestly see it, then you do have to kind of
Yeah.
set the record.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, and once you, and I always find it's like once you get past that hump and get to that understanding, then everything's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
So not
Yeah, that's
always,
true.
and I kind of think that this may be a nuisance.
And like I said, look,
Okay.
from a man's perspective, you always want to feel like, yeah, you can still pull. Right? You can
Of
feel
course,
that
but
up,
women,
yeah.
we feel like that too.
Well,
Yeah.
too
Well,
much
you
drama,
know,
too much drama. Too much drama.
He was the one who said, you know, listen, I had one that said,
Oh God, do you have to bring that up?
how do you prove you know, that I love you? Well, prove it. Well, sleep with all my homeboys.
And what that said was that
Purify yourself in the waters of living.
what that said to me was that twice your homeboys disrespected you. Okay, so we're gonna, anyway, you know, it's that time, and we'll be back here next Monday from 7 to
She called for the
8:30. I'm not gonna fall for the banana and the tailpipe.
But before we leave, I just want to say happy belated birthday to the Queen.
Thank
She's
you.
looking good, you know.
Got my mics.
Black don't crack unless you do crack.
Got my mics. I don't need the third one.
There's a big
The
black.
third one got a bump on it.
No, What?
So she's
What?
she's
Oh,
on
Thank you,
Sunday.
God.
Bless
Man,
them
that's my mic.
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
motherfucker, ain't no goddamn
We
mama
will
on
be
this
back
shit.
next week. I want to thank my Facebookers and my YouTubers for tuning in. I will post the YouTube link for those of you that missed it so you can see tonight's show and catch us next week. Yeah, you got to hit end or bring it to me. You had a good point.
Yeah, when people are on the screen, they say stuff.